What's up, everybody? This is Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, coming at you with a review of DieHumane's brand new album, The Grotesque. So the only thing I knew about this band going into this is that Rick Hunolt is on guitar. Rick Hunolt played with Exodus from their first album up until and including Tempo of the Damned, I think. So I went into this thinking this band was going to be old school thrash metal. Or maybe like newer school thrash, because Tempo of the Damned definitely doesn't sound like 80s stuff. They kept up pretty well. So basically somewhere in between old school Accept and modern Creator. Boy, was I wrong. This is avant-garde and experimental metal. Experimental? I literally cannot think of a single band to compare the album as a whole to, so I'll get into some songs and maybe this will make sense. The first couple tracks are much more industrial than I was expecting, like very low-tuned guitars. Nothing at all like what I thought Rick Hunolt would sound like. No Strike of the Beast here. On the song Standing on the Edge of Forever, this is a pretty short interstitial track. I'm pretty sure I heard saxophone. There's a long-standing debate at the metal group at the office where I work about whether or not saxophone belongs in metal. And the metal group has been divided into people who like saxophone and metal and people who like modern In Flames. Don't ask me why, that is apparently mutually exhaustive. Shell Shock. It's very modern sounding, pretty hard to describe. It almost sounds like down-tuned Faith No More meets 2000s nu metal. The vocal production is atypical for sure. It has some kind of filter going throughout. It doesn't sound anything like most metal. Like, the vocal production legitimately reminded me of something like Linkin Park, way more than any traditional metal band I've ever heard of. The production on Epitaph, specifically the guitars, reminded me of 90s Overkill. I'm thinking like Battle and Necroshine. Again, it's just an extraordinarily diverse range of sounds on the album. I'm guessing this is what they were going for. Yet somehow it still sounds cohesive, and that's an achievement. On the song Oblivion, we've got a great chorus here. The song has this pretty cool droning feel. It's not exactly the same vibe, but something of it reminded me of Sorry by Guns N' Roses off of the much maligned Chinese Democracy album. On the song Ghosts, again, we've got another really good chorus here. Vocal production here really stands out. This is where I was thinking of like Chester Bennington. Listen to it and tell me I'm nuts, please. And last but not least, on the song The Devil Sings, is that Zetro guesting? If not, it sure sounded like him, and it was definitely the most thrash moment of the album, but I really did like the vocals on this one. Before I wrap things up here, this album focuses a lot on mood and feel and atmosphere, I guess you'd call it. Even though the two albums sound pretty much nothing alike, it did remind me of Darker Skies by Noctmuse, which I got to review a few months back. It's a neat thing they did something new. Not everything has to be super fast guitar riffs. I get the idea this album will benefit a lot from re-listens, and maybe I'll figure that out tomorrow. Rock on.